Welcome to the Book Boyfriend podcast, where we dish on everything from the alpha male to the sensitive soul. If you found yourself lusting after a fictional character, you've come to the right place. Here's your hosts, Faith Andrews, Elizabeth Grace, Livia Jamerland, and B.A. Wolf.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Book Boyfriend podcast. This is episode 23, and we are the home of the erection selection. We have our shirts to prove that to you. We are so glad to be here with you all today. Unfortunately, Barb will not be with us. She had a family emergency. We love you, Barb, and we will see you soon. So, on to the reason why we are here. I stumbled across R.K. Lilley's book, or her duet from Breaking Him and Breaking Her. Elizabeth and I are really, really big fans of R.K. Lilley. We love her work, and I think Tristan and Danica has been our top read forever, I believe, until we read Breaking Him. And I know Faith has finished Breaking Her, and her messages to me this morning were, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I can't wait to dive into that one. I'm very excited for that one. But we're here to talk about the amazing Dante and all his swoon-worthy moments along with Scarlett. So why don't we get into that? And Faith, why don't you set up the book for us?
Okay, I'm going to try really hard because this is hard to even set it up because there's so many intricate pieces of this story as you get into it. And I'm still high on almost finishing book 2, so I'm going to try really hard not to give anything away. But okay, so we meet Scarlett, who is a flight attendant, a hot one at that. And it just so happens that on this flight, one of the passengers is her ex. And he's not just some ex, he is so hated. Like, she hates him, despises him. And we don't have no reason to understand why yet, but we know that she hates him. She hasn't seen him in some time. And it's clear from her feelings towards him that he's done a real number on her. He's really screwed with her. He's broken her into bits and pieces. You just can tell this from the synopsis of the book. But he needs to talk to her. So that's why he gets on this plane. He gets on the plane. He wants to talk to her. And Scarlett wants to have nothing of it, so she proceeds to get him drunk. And instead of just getting him drunk and sending him on his merry way, they wind up together in a hotel. And rather than have it out and have this fight that's been brewing for God knows how long, Scarlett's revenge and her way to break him is to have sex with him. And this isn't just like, make up sex or try to make up sex or I missed you sex. This is like angry, angry, angry sex. But you could tell that it's like this magical pull. Like, she loves him just as much as she hates him, but we don't know the whys of any of the emotions. And then starts the flashbacks. So let's sum it up with the flashbacks, because again, you're getting this very broken Scarlett, but when you go back and finally read what's happening in the past and how they even started, you're like, holy cow. So Scarlett was born and literally thrown away by her mother in a trash can. She was found by Dante's grandmother and then raised by her own really despicable grandmother. So Scarlett is made fun of her whole entire life. She's literally nicknamed Trash Can Girl, and she fights her way to survive. Like, she's in a fight every other day at school. She's this dirty, unkept girl who's not taken care of by her grandmother, and the world is pretty much against her. So one day, an 8-year-old Dante, he's a wealthy, wealthy boy from a prestigious but very fucked up family. We'll get into that later. He swoops in and he defends her. And it's this instant friendship that becomes like pretty much borderline obsessive, in the sense that these two thrive with each other the way that we need oxygen and food to survive. Like, they need to be together. From 8 years old, they know that they're destined. And the rest is their heartbreaking story of why they can't be together and how hard they fight, the pull, and so much more. It's like, I know that sounds like a mouthful, and it is, because this book is a total WTF. Like, there's so many things going on in this. Don't you guys agree?
I absolutely agree. Sorry, Al. And I'd like to point out, I want you all, everyone out there who's listening to us, I want you all to know that Faith always sits there and says, I hate doing the setup of the book. I just think she did a phenomenal job. Don't you agree, Al?
Absolutely. I was thinking about earlier when she said that, and I was listening to her, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad she's doing it, because
I hate it. I feel like I can't do it justice. It's like you're talking about a 300, 400 page book, whatever it is. And it's like you got to sum it up and not like go off on a tangent. But
no, you did a great job.
Thank you.
You did. And honestly, you did really, really well summing up the story between Dante and Scarlett, because from an early age, we do kind of really fall in love with him, which of course leads us into our next part. the first impression of the hero. So since, Faith really described how he's at 8 years old, she meets this kid and he defends her. That was my first impression of him. Not really when she meets him on the airplane, just because I knew that the past, present the chapters were going to be past and present. You can't really judge who he is. I didn't know if he had broken her heart when she first met him and that's why she hated him, or what was it? Was he coming back for her because he married somebody new? So when I first met him and he's 8 years old and she's sitting outside the principal's office and she realizes that he also got in trouble and he was called to the principal's office because he was defending her because they all called her trash can girl. I was completely in love with him. I thought he was, I don't know, to be 8 and to have that love at 8 years old, I think to myself, that's insane. But you can see it that through the book, the way R.K. Lilley developed their story, it's believable. It wasn't like he was 8 years old and she was 8 years old and automatically they're like, one day I'm going to marry you. They were friends, like truly best of friends. So what was your impression on him, Faith?
Okay, well, like you said, we first meet him in the present, and we know that Scarlett hates him, and one of the first things she says when she sees him is, you couldn't look at him without thinking words like sinister or dastardly. And even though he's this cocky guy, he's in this sexy, oh my God way, there's this inner part of you telling you he's bad news. But then they go back to this hotel and they have sex and you're realizing there's something more there. And again, I love how she pieces these things together where you're totally wondering if you missed something. How many times do you guys go back and say, wait, I had to miss something, but you didn't. You totally didn't miss it. And it totally doesn't come into fruition until the second book. But, so right off the bat, you knew that something was there for her to even give into this. There's some past we're not knowing about. But then, like I said, and like you said, Liv, you start to get their pieces of their past and you see Dante as this protector, the only person in the whole entire world who basically stands up for this trash can girl. And you know that he has to have a heart of gold. And I just absolutely love their pull to each other and how you knew they were revenge fucking, but that they essentially can't survive without the other. And I don't know, there's something about him and this story that it's honestly going to stay with me for a really long time. It's just, R.K. Lilley writes angst like no one I know. It's so freaking angsty. I'm dying over here. So, I don't know. Elle, do you want to give first impressions or are we moving right into Swoon-worthy?
I'll just give a quick first impression. Sure.
Okay.
My first impression was of him on the plane. And it was clear just from all of her self-talk that he had, like you said, done a number on her. But I liked their first interaction, and I knew I was going to like the banter between them. So I'm just going to read 2 lines here. So she says, hello, Dante, when she sees him sitting in the seat. And then she says, how flattering that you deemed to fly commercial just to ruin my day. My tone dripped with venom. How flattering that you put on your favorite red lipstick just for me, he returned with his own bloodthirsty smile. And I loved that because I thought, okay, this guy's quick. We're going to have a lot of good, back and forth, really trying to cut at each other moments, which of course there was. So I liked him, even though he's kind of an ass, but I don't know. I have issues, I guess, because I like that. So
yeah.
Anyways, we have our own versions of issues. I like that she kept doing the points. Point
yes.
for him, point for me. And I'm oh, that is such... Yeah, we were going to get into that. I wish I wrote that part, but that was definitely on there for me, which, of course, this leads us into our most swoon-worthy moment. And Elle, you are up. Tell us what was your most swoon-worthy moment.
I had 2, and one is just too big of a spoiler, so I chose the other one to talk about. So this is after they've basically spent, I think, a day or 2 in the bedroom together. They're not together. They're just basically something happens and they're trying to just find solace and comfort in one another. And pretty much I took it as I'm not sure how you girls did, but it's almost okay, we're in our cocoon for this time. We're going to do this. We're going to pretend the outside world doesn't exist. This doesn't change anything between us, but we're just going to hook up for however long it lasts. At least that's how Scarlett's taking it. So she's in this knowing in the end that she's going to be hurt by him because they're not going to be together at the end of this, and she's going to grow, needful of him and want him more than she ever did, knowing that she can't have him. So at the end of this whole day or 2 day long extravaganza of sex,
She says to him at the end of an exchange, "I hate you," I told him quietly and vehemently. And he says, "I hate that I still love you." Just as quiet, just as vehement. Far more destructive. God, with just a few words, he'd almost defeated me. I was a sore loser, though, so I did my best to recover and limp away. I was nearly clear of the room, one foot already in the bathroom when he finished me. I hate that I'll never stop. His voice was soft, but no less impactful. And I liked that because that was the first moment that you got a good idea of what his true feelings were for her. Like, because up until that point, I wasn't sure, like, does he really hate her, or does he like hate her that he loves her? Like, so for me, that was like a big moment, and I really liked it. What about you, Liv?
All right, so I've been sitting here looking at my Kindle, thinking, what is my most swoon-worthy moment? And I really can't just pick one. I want to say that I swooned over Dante at the age of 8 when he defended Scarlett to the kids. I swooned over him when he fought the little boy who hit her. I swooned over him when the cops came in and, you know, he yelled at the cops. He yelled at the teachers. He's always been her protector. So it's really hard to pick one swoon-worthy moment. And of course, it's R.K. Lilley. So, you know, the sex is good. So, you know, the words are good. You know, the banter is good. But I really just swooned completely over Dante. I loved him. For a very long time, when I first read R.K. Lilley, I was a big James Cavendish fan. Then she introduced the world to Tristan. And ever since then, even with her Bright Side, was it Bright Side series? Or what was it, Al, that we read, the series?
Oh, the Wild Side?
Wild Side. Even that one, it was, you know, I liked it, but it wasn't Tristan. Dante has swooned me to the point that I am completely over Tristan and I have moved on to him. So that is my completely unconventional swoon-worthy moment.
That's serious.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, you haven't read Tristan. Like I read
it's
Tristan,
next. I'm reading it next.
I read Tristan so long ago that it's just like, and I mean, get ready for the most amazing book, Hangover.
It's so gutting, right? That story,
you can't believe it. It's phenomenal. So back to Dante. He is completely my swoon-worthy moment. What about you, Faith? What was yours?
I kept saying I had this really hard. It's obvious that he's this swoon-worthy guy. Like, we know that from like everything you pointed out. There's not one part of him that isn't swoon-worthy. But I'm like breaking the BBP mold here. Like, we're supposed to swoon over the man, and I really loved her. Like, I loved Scarlett. My heart broke for her, and more than just loving her and loving him separately, like the two of them as an entity, like, I don't know, like I just love them together. And I love how, like, I don't know, as soon as I finished Breaking Him, I read Breaking Her, and I'm being completely honest with you, the beginning of the book started off a little tad rocky for me until we started getting the bits and pieces of the past. And I mean, that's when like my heart started to really break for the whole situation. And again, this whole mysterious vibe that you're really not understanding why, like any of the whys. You don't get a lot of the whys for a very long time. And then when you do, it's like, you just love them all the more. And I just love how connected they were. So I don't really have this one moment. Like, I loved how they grew up together and how they were everything for each other. And I guess if I have to pick a moment, like my heart skipped a beat most when they were kids and they're about to have their first kiss. So they're not even like, they're not much older than 8. I think they were 10 or something when they had their first kiss, maybe a little older. Oh my God, I have a 10-year-old. I should not be kissing anytime freaking soon. But so they're about to have their first kiss, and Dante tells Scarlett, he says, yes, Scarlett, of course we're together. We've always been together. And then she goes on to ask him, isn't the guy supposed to ask the girl to be his girlfriend? And he comes out with this, oh my God. He goes, not this, not us. Neither of us have a choice in this. You and I being together is not a question, Scarlett. It's a fact of life. And I just felt like that summed everything up for them. Like, there were so many amazing, quirky little things that R.K. Lilley put in there that like are really angst-ridden and like, wow, she just got that. But that really sums it up. They had to be together. They had to. There was no, I need you, I want you. They have to be together. So, I don't know, the whole book is swoon-worthy.
It was.
Yeah.
It's really hard to pick just certain little parts that are completely swoon-worthy or, you know, sum up the book, because there's so much happens. Mm-hmm. And because, of course, you know, Breaking Him is the first book and it does leave you in a cliffhanger. It's not an epic cliffhanger. It's not like, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not a gunshot that goes off, and you're like, wait, what? Like the ending, you're like, wait, that's the end. Like,
okay, but wait, but time out. It's not epic in book 1, but when you find out why it ended like that in book 2, it's fucking epic. It's not to be believed.
I mean, and it just, I really went back and I'm like, wait. Because, sometimes you're reading and you're getting so into the story, you start like speed reading. And I'm like, wait, did I miss something? Like, I went back and I'm like, that's the end? I'm like, okay,
I did that too.
Yep.
And so, of course, this is book 2 and like we've all been, raving over it. It's completely a must read. I understand why people are going crazy over it. Not only are the covers beautiful, R.K. Lilley's kind of also beautiful, but the book in itself, the story is absolutely beautiful, which brings us to I Wish I Wrote That, which we're all probably going to be like, I wish I wrote the whole entire book because the story is epic. But I will go first. So I have 2 because, like Faith said, she has ways of putting all these little words in between there, and you think, oh my goodness, like, why didn't I ever think of that? Or, it pulls you into the story and it gives you more angst. So my I Wish I Wrote That was the most toxic relationships in life are defined by the way they make us feel about ourselves. She and I were the worst of that. Like, so, just that saying, I'm thinking, all right. And then there's the other one. There's only one heart in the universe that calls to mine, and it does call constantly, relentlessly. It sings out to me in a captivating, resonating voice. Like just the way his voice, like that heart is just calls out to her. It's just, I really wish I wrote those lines. It's very simple words. It's very, I'm pretty sure kids learn these words when they're like in 5th grade. And she just put them all together. Probably 4th grade. I don't know. My kid's too little to know what he's learning and spelling. I'm like thinking, well, constantly, you can learn at a young age. But I feel like those are very simple words that she just put together. And you're just like, wow. There's only one heart in the universe that calls mine. Like, that's massive. You believe that you have more than one epic love. And no, she's telling you there's just one. So, I didn't finish my freaking line because I went too far. So maybe I should start over, right? There's only one heart in the universe that calls mine, and it does call. Constantly, relentlessly, it sings out to me, captivating, resonating voice. Day after day, year after year, it calls to me, but I won't listen. It belongs to a liar. That's what it was. Sorry. Elizabeth, what is your I Wish I Wrote That?
Okay, my I Wish I Wrote That was a description that Scarlett had about Dante's mother, who is like the epitome of terrible person, royal bitch, all of that type of stuff.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, she is a see you next Tuesday, 100%. So as soon as I read this line, I knew it was going to be my I Wish I Wrote That. And she said, if the smooth lines of her face had been made of karma, she'd look like a withered old hag by now. I loved that. I was like, oh, I love that. I loved it. What about you, Faith?
All right. I'm not going to say it. I wish I wrote the whole book, but okay. I texted the girls this morning. I'm like, even the quotes that she picked for the beginning of each chapter, I mean, obviously they weren't hers. She quoted them from other writers and even Shakespeare and things like that. They were like spot on, or as my daughter would say, on fleek, because they were just like perfect to give you the whole setup of what that chapter was going to be about. And I loved them. But as far as R.K. Lilley's writing goes, I have 2 that I want to point out. Okay. One was never relinquish the keys to your soul to someone else. It gives them too much power. And I love this because it also came from a part where she's saying that she believes that all lovers should keep secrets from each other. Like that no one should know you that personally. Like not in the sense of, bad secrets, but just no one should know you that personal because look what happened to her. Look how broken he made her. And now it's like she can't even recover from that. So that's what I took from that, was that your soul belongs to you and it kind of shouldn't belong to someone else. And then I love this because I got it, because I'm a girl and you're all going to understand this because we're girls and our minds think like this. She said, nothing made a girl want to look her best more than facing a room full of her most despised enemies. And I thought of that. Think about it. Like how good you want to look when you know like someone's going to be there with your ex or your whatever. Like, you know what I mean? That girl that you couldn't stand from high school or whatever. So I just thought that, and I was like, she was a cool character like that in the sense that she she liked herself, even though she didn't like herself. Does that make sense? Like, you heard how she described herself. Like, she knew she looked good, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, it's funny because I always tell my husband, I'm like, I don't dress for you. I dress for the girls who are going to be judging me. Like, that's what you dress for. You don't dress for your husband. He knows what you look like. I dress for, seeing the other people. Now, that brings us into our kiss, marry, and do. And, I'm like, didn't I write this? Is somebody, I guess Elizabeth went first. Elle, why don't you give us your kiss, marry, do?
Okay, sure. I would kiss Tristan because he is yummy. Yes, Liv. And I would marry Maxim because this week I actually don't have to fight Babs for him. So he's all mine. The Russian is all mine. And I would definitely do Dante because Arcade Lilley can write a mean sex scene. So I definitely need to give that a spin. What about you, Faith?
All right, I'm going to point out who Liv picked. She let us choose between Tristan from the air. That's all right. Tristan from The Air He Breathes, Dante from this book, Maxim from The Master, right? By Presley Cole. Mm-hmm. Hawk from Mystery Man, and Alec from Step Brother Dearest. Okay. Oh my God, this is hard. I am going to do Dante because, like you said, Elle, oh my God, her sex scenes were so explicit, but yet different. Like, she found so many different words to use that as an author, you're like, wow, she did that good. Because sometimes you're like, how many more times can you write the C word?
He was inside of me. We get it.
She was really good. Like, it was graphic, but tastefully so. And like, you felt it, especially like the young sex scenes, like, right? Like the first time, when oh my God, I felt it. I'm going to kiss Tristan because I want that beard. Oh my God, that means I got to pick one of these guys to marry. Shit. I want to marry Dante too. Sorry, I'm breaking rules. Marry and do Dante. And then I'm just going to kiss some Tristan on the side. What about you, Liv?
All right, so I cheated. But I like to point out the whole beard thing. We've had this discussion over PM, and we're probably going to continue this discussion when we have our After Dark taping.
Yes.
The whole beard thing, I want you all to know, hashtag, is it really clean? And like, where's Barb with her hashtags? Because like, to me, like, I just feel like when I kiss the top of my son's head, right? My son's 18 months old, or almost 20 months old. God, I'm a terrible mom. When I kiss the top of his head, I can smell his scalp. Like, and yeah, he smells cute because he's a baby, but I think like your beard, right? So just think about it. Eat some garlic knots. You have that with you all day. Just want to point that out. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Kiss, marry, do. I'm going to kiss Tristan just because I kind of want to sniff his beard. And then I'm going to do Hawk and Maxim in a threesome because I kind of want to be their sex slave. And I'm going to marry Dante just because I want to protect her. I want somebody who's going to fight my battles with me. Like, not for me, because he never fought it for her. He fought it with her. So that is my kiss, marry, do, which leads us to the erection selection, which that's where you will find the Book Boyfriend podcast. We are the home of the erection selection. And I will go up first. My erection selection for Mr. Dante. Now, mind you, this is really hard because R.K. Lilley did a wonderful job. We even posted I posted in our Facebook group, like, hey, would you cast him? Because it's really hard. The guy from the cover is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I've used him before, and I'm going to use him again. Stephen Amell, who is from Toronto. And the next time I go visit Elizabeth, we're going to find him and Drake. But here he is. You see him.
He's in our hometown right now. He's at Yankee Stadium, like right now, tonight.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to hang up and go to Yankee Stadium and really, really. Oh wait, there he is. Like that's just what I figured. Like I figured he wasn't like Dante isn't like the millionaire. Like though he does fly like private or whatever, and he does have loads and loads of money. He kind of really seems down to earth and scruffy. Mm-hmm. But what is your erection selection, Faith?
I had a really hard time with this. I mean, I literally like asked everybody, like you said. I even asked Trish, who's like the muse woman, but she said she asked R.K. Lilley, and they all keep saying the cover model, who I don't know his name. If anybody finds out his name, can you like tweet us or message us or something? I want to know his name because he's the guy. But I guess if we're going for that scruffy blonde,
you know who? Sorry, not to cut you off. Do you know who the cover model reminds me of?
Who?
Do you remember in Twilight, the first, the first movie, James something, he played like the bad vampire?
Yes.
Yes.
Adriana Locke loves him. What's his name? Cam Gidgeon, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. I see that. But I know this is like a long shot because who remembers him young? Because he's older than us now. Brad Pitt, maybe? Like a young Brad Pitt.
Okay.
More scruffy, like perfect and blue, icy blue eye. Yeah, all right. I'm going with Brad Pitt. I want to see your props, Elle.
You know, I'm just thinking like Brad Pitt. I never thought of it before, but he kind of like, I feel like maybe he reminds me of Mr. Beautiful. Liv, like Cavendish, James.
Oh.
Yes.
I never thought of that before. Okay, so I chose this guy is actually like a little older than Dante's described in the book, but I just had this person in my head while I was reading. So this is Noah Huntley, and he was on the Royal Show. He's on a few things. He's not like a huge actor, but he models too. So that's Noah Huntley, and so that's who I had because he's. To be honest, like I don't know that many blondes because blonde, fair-haired guys aren't really my thing. I'm more like a Mediterranean dark kind of lover. But anyways, and this is another picture. You can't really see his face, but I just liked that picture. So that's who I had. I had Noah Huntley. So, and I could not for the life of me find a shirtless picture of him outside. You know I'd have it. So,
Oh yeah.
Is this who you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes, that he reminds me of the guy on the cover, like the side. When I looked at it, I was like, that guy reminds me of that guy. Yes.
Yeah. Yummy.
Ooh.
Approved.
Motion carried.
She gives you her stamp of approval.
All right, so that I guess sums it up for us. Thank you all again for being with us on episode 23. We're close to 25, which means we're close to 30, which means we're really doing these. We're really doing this, ladies. But if you have a book that you want to recommend to us, if you want to be part of our Facebook group, please join us. You can find us at www.bookboyfriendpodcast.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. And please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube and our iTunes channel. And remember, we are the home of the erection selection. So until next time, say peace out, bitches.
Peace out. Bye, Felicia.
Bye. Go Raptors.
Yay. We the North. We the North. All right.
Seriously, we won 2 games.
Against the Heat, right?
No, against Cleveland. We won that series, and then they won 2 against LeBron. He was smack talking. They won the first 2, and then we won the next 2. I'm sure they'll win the series, but still.
Hey, listen, my money's on Toronto. I like Toronto over LeBron. I'm not a LeBron fan.
No, me neither. I think he's too cocky for me. But
all right, let me go turn off downstairs. Hold on.
Elle, how far are you into book 2?
Like 10%.
Elle.
I really, really, really want Anton and
that would be great.
Demi to get a book because you can see. Like, to me, I don't know if anything else happens, like, of their story further down, like, the line in this book. But to me, it kind of seemed like she was setting it up.
Yeah.
Like that, like, you know, possibly they could.
Thanks for joining us. You can find out who will be on upcoming shows and what books we'll be discussing, as well as more about our hosts at www.bookboyfriendpodcast.com. See you next time when we add another boyfriend to the ranks.